All right, so we're back. Again, this is Daniel Nestor at the College of St. Rose, the English department, and welcome back to Using Other People's Words, quotations, paraphrases, and summaries, a presentation to help student writers work with other people's words and ideas. So when we last spoke, we talked about why in the first place would you use other people's words and ideas, and hopefully I've laid down the groundwork for that. Now let's talk about what is called making an argument. Now, if I were in front of you, I would ask, what do you think an argument is? And I think most of you might have the denotation and connotation of the word argument. The denotation of the word argument, your first dictionary meaning of the word argument would be, a feud, an argument between two people. But in college, in academic writing, an argument is a very specific meaning, which is something you present with support, claims and support, and you use rhetoric, and specifically the rhetorical triangle. So let's watch that triangle, huh? People use rhetoric in different ways. You might think of rhetorical question, a question not to be answered. Rhetoric these days is used a lot in the news as another meaning, which is like an amped up argument with intent to do some sort of harm. There's lots of talk now, kind of behavior style communication, that hot rhetoric or hostile rhetoric. Rhetoric has been defined in technical, almost psycholinguistic terms also. The philosophy of languages, ideas, etc. Professor Trish Roberts Miller at UT Austin offers a short history of rhetoric on her website. She defines rhetoric, and this is the fancy way to put it, but it's how we are going to use it, as rhetoric is a kind of contingency-based argumentation that implies a skeptical epistemology on issues of public policy. What that means is when you offer an argument, you're not settling the argument, contingency based. It's contingent upon you proving it or you supporting it. That implies a skeptical epistemology, meaning that whatever you are presenting and you're presented in another argument, you're skeptical of it. You're skeptical how that piece of knowledge came to be. Our experience with rhetoric comes from the idea of classical rhetoric, which started with Aristotle's idea of proof, syllogism, first principles, and then it moves on to the fields such as diverse fields such as logic, literature, politics, speech studies, and many more. We use rhetoric in all academic writing. To employ rhetoric in this way involves making a claim. You're offering an argument with evidence and proof. And all of this involves using others' words and ideas. One of the main challenges I have teaching this kind of class is persuading students to use other people's words and then not shy away from deferring to others' expertise, and how it's seen as somehow a weakness in one's presentation of an argument to defer to an expert. But that can only, if it's done in the right way, it can only support your argument or claim. It can only help out your rhetoric. So, without further ado, let's enter the rhetorical triangle. Now, this might be a little bit off the screen. Maybe I can actually enlarge it. I'm not sure if I can. Yes, I can. This is Aristotle's model of proof. What I'd like you to see, first of all, is these three ends of the triangle. Speaker on the upper left, message on the bottom, and auditor. So you have ethos, pathos, and logos. Let's go to the next one. That one's a little bit better. Here's another version, and hopefully it's a little more helpful. These last two images are images of what's called the rhetorical triangle. So you have text, audience, author. The text is, how will your project be carried out? Is your project well defined? What are your facts? What evidence or data do you have? On the lower left, there's you, ethos, author. How are you qualified to carry out your project? How do you know what you're doing? What are your past credentials? Do you understand the methods and limitations of your research? We'll talk a lot about personal evidence and using the I in academic writing, and depending on the discipline, it's encouraged or discouraged. But no matter what, you need to present yourself as somebody who has looked into the arguments for and against what you are presenting. And then finally, there's audience. How does your project benefit your funding source? Might be one way to put it. Is your research important to the applicable field? Are you likely to complete this project and present and publish the results? Why is this important to your audience? Is another way to put it. It's all part of this rhetorical triangle. If you lose sight of your audience, or forget or disregard your audience, your argument suffers. If you forget to use facts, offer proof, or use other ideas to provide support for your claims, your argument will sound as if it is a rant. It'll just fall apart. If you forget adding context and analysis, or any possible effective personal experience, ethos, your argument will read as if it is a group of facts alone in a field with nothing to do. The checklist that follows, and I'll bring it on. I will present it in the next clip, is from Jacqueline Lutsky and Mary Hengegler's The Rhetorical Triangle, and it's from Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis' School of Liberal Arts.